The reasons for the dwindling reading culture in Nigeria are enormous. Currently, 2 out of 10 children in Nigeria still find literature pieces unnecessary and drab. And that is becoming too worrisome to education stakeholders like us. By the way, I am Mr. Adolf, the teacher. This is your 4 Walls on TV 360 Nigeria. So, take a look at my green board. On the green board, we begin with classwork, which has almost a book review, where we will be holding up Stranger in Lagos, the latest book by Sally Kenneth Dadzie, who is also going to be a special guest on this special episode. Then we'll do a preface to the topic and examination. Later, we'll do grading and assignments as usual. But before we go further, let's see the latest happening in the Nigerian education system. So the first news is about the West African Examination Council, WAEC, which has released results of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates who sat for the 2019 second series. The examination, which took place from August 29 to October 2nd, 2019, had a total number of 94,884 candidates. Head of the Nigerian National Office, WAEC, Olu Olanikpekun, at a press briefing said only 33,304 candidates who sat for the examination obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including mathematics and English language.
33,304 candidates, representing 35.10%, obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics, out of which 16,431 were male and 16,873 were female, representing 49.34% and 50.66% respectively. We have been in touch with many states' Ministry of Education to see how Council can partner with the Ministry of Education to share knowledge with teachers on what they can do to improve on their internal assessments in schools, believing that that will also have a direct consequence and effect on the performances of their students or candidates in all external examinations, of course, including WAS.
Meanwhile, the management of the National Examination Council, NECO, says it has dismissed 70 staff from its service for certificate forgery. The action of the organization followed weeks of staff verification, including scrutiny of staff academic papers. The council said the dismissal of the 70 staff in the first phase in the series of the ongoing staff certificates verification exercise in the council. When we come back after the break, we'll be doing a preface to the topic. Then Sally Kenneth Dadzie will be joining me on the show to discuss her book and the topic. Don't go, we'll be right back. Welcome back. So, this is a preface to the topic, which says reading power culture in Nigerian society. Do we read in Nigeria? Yes. What kind of materials do we read, and what kind of materials do we find interesting in Nigeria? This is essential. These are the reasons why, of course, I stumbled through this term paper written by Ogugwa JC, Emerole N, and Egwim with Anyanwu and Hako Obasi. And it says issues and remedies for reading culture in Nigeria, which is seriously dwindling. So I captured something from their term paper, which says the paper identified reading as the ability to obtain meaning from words. Reading culture refers to the habitual and regular reading of books and information materials. There are also so many benefits to having a strong culture reading to an individual. The benefits include increase in memory, discipline, vocabulary, creativity, and skills, while at the national level, it enhances educational growth and development of the nation. Because reading culture is dwindling and it's a serious case. Now I have with me on the studio Sally Kenneth Dadzie, She is a writer and with a book titled Stranger in Lagos. That book caught my attention on social media, and I decided to pull her down into four walls to explain, number one, what did you feel about Lagos that you decided to write Stranger in Lagos?
Well, thank you first for having me here.
You're welcome.
I am very happy.
Thank you so much.
To be here talking about my book. I love talking about my books. Yes, and I like talking about reading. Stranger in Lagos. It's the title. Yes, I was inspired by Lagos, and you're a Lagosian. I'm a Lagosian. We are a very annoying set of people to people who are not Lagosians. We love Lagos a lot. When I was not a Lagosian, I used to be annoyed with Lagos people because everything was Lagos, Lagos, Lagos. However, this book is not particularly about Lagos itself. It's about the people in Lagos, people like you and I who live in Lagos. So it's a story of the lives of a few people in Lagos. I don't know why I titled it that. Honestly, it just came to me. I don't know. I don't have any reason. I can't say, oh, because I was on Ikoyi Bridge or something.
Sincerely, when I got the manuscripts that you sent to me earlier before this program, I saw the way you painted Lagos. I love Lagos. I was born and raised in Lagos. So you came with such picture of Lagos that most of us would love to hide. But there you were so sincere and unapologetic. Why did you decide to begin your novel creating Lagos with something like children raised here are to be pitied?
Lagos is a city of vermin and lost souls. We cannot...
Lost souls?
Yes.
I saw that.
Yes. We cannot deny that. But at the same time, it's a place where dreams come true. I was telling somebody that anytime I leave Lagos, I'm like happy. Oh, fresh air. Oh, everywhere is quiet and peaceful. I don't have to rush. But in the next 2 days, I am bored. Nothing moves me. Nothing pushes me. But that's what Lagos does to you. It makes a lot of dreams come true. You cannot sit down and not do something in Lagos. You have to. It inspires. It inspires a lot. Lagos is not the place where you sit down unless you are a serious, lazy Nigerian youth. Lagos is not that kind of place where you sit down and money falls for you from... When you see Lagos money, you know it's hustle money. It's not like Abuja that is politics money or my daddy's money. Yes, we have old Lagos money, which could be my daddy's...
Even if it's your daddy's money, people say that you hustle for your daddy's money.
Yeah.
You hustle for your daddy's money.
Look at Adenuga's son, you know, people still hustle for their money. That's what Lagos does to you. So in as much as Lagos has the good, it has the bad. Yes, I started the story with the very dark, because people love that. It draws them in. If I come and start saying, oh, Lagos, money will come, they'll be like, yeah, we've heard this before. But when you start with the dark side, it pulls you in.
It did pull me. But what is pulling me further is the fact that people would rather watch videos and see pictures rather than reading. What do you feel about that, being a writer?
Yeah, okay, so now we are in a very visual age. We are. We cannot deny that. You know, I have kids, 2 of them, and we don't usually allow them watch TV during school term unless it's during the weekend and for a particular time. Yes, because we also want to make sure they read. We want them to have, you know, it builds, when you read, it builds your imagination. But no matter how much you try, they want to see videos, they want to watch stuff, and it teaches them as well. People learn. So we're in a very visual age. Everybody has a phone. Everybody, you see people dying on the road and people don't want to help. They want to take videos. We're in that visual culture. So that's a thing we cannot take away from this particular generation. And yes, it is affecting our reading culture, even here in Nigeria. But you know, the thing is, it doesn't have to be bad. Because where this whole thing came from, let me pick America, for example. Right from when we were little, we used to watch, they had this camera obsession, even before videos came. Like every family had a camera. They have videos of their dogs and all that. And yet, the reading culture has not dwindled so bad as it is happening now. So that means there's another root cause. There is a problem somewhere. There's an underlying problem somewhere that is affecting us, in particular in Nigeria. Yes.
What are these root causes? People would say poverty to begin with.
Yeah.
When you're not so enlightened, you definitely might not have so much money to give your children the quality education. Therefore, the kind of school that you can afford will not encourage your children to read extensively. Yeah. Do you think poverty can also have
Yes, because in advanced societies, they have access to these facilities we're talking about. There is access to education, good education. I mean, when you look at pictures of some of our schools in some places in Nigeria, children sit on the floor. I mean, how do you encourage reading in that? Some of those floors are wet. You know, going to school, it's like they're going through some ultimate search or something. They cross 7 seas and 7 mountains only to go and sit under a tree. How do you give them books? How, when they can't even afford that, where do books start coming in from? Do you understand? So poverty, yes, poverty plays a part. It wasn't like, I can say that I am of some generation, I don't know what they call us, plus a millennial. I'm partly millennial, I'm partly part of the generation before the millennial. And I could tell you that I went to a public school when I was a little kid, and we had a library. We had kids from not so privileged homes. Then the margin was not so much as it is now.
It's a great,
and they were reading.
It's a great thing that you pointed out. This is visual age.
Yes.
And the time that you're talking about is also the time I should be talking about that I attended school. The likes of Facebook and Twitter, and
they were not there.
I am a class teacher. And some of the times that I might take away the academic discussions. Okay, my children, let's get around. Talk to me about your weekend. How did you work? Your children are telling you about how they were chatting. Okay, there was a video call. One of my friends called from Canada. We had a video call for how many minutes? He said minutes. We did it for 1 hour. We talked and talked. So children do not remember the library. I remember visiting libraries in Shomolu, although why I visited was because I had older ones who were interested in reading. In some families, well, parents hustles in Lagos, you can imagine. You leave early in the morning and you're back at night. Your children are left with phones and tablets to play around with.
Yeah.
Don't you think it is because of the existence of this social media age? People want it short. People want it brief. Lots of comic videos.
You know, like Twitter.
If you can make your stranger in Lagos a video, people would read.
Yeah,
video instead.
They would, yeah. They would, but amazingly, I have such a massive following. I will tell you the average number of words I share on my blog, on my stories, average is 7,000 words. And people go to the comment section and tell me, Sally, it is too short. Yeah.
What kind of people do you have? You handpicked them?
I didn't handpick them. They came. So the thing is that there are people who would read. So it's about the content. It's about giving them what they want to read. So on Twitter, you have like, it used to be 140 words, you know, and then we now had 280, and then we had threads. And it is stories. People want stories. This generation, you give them the story they want, they will read it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, we are not utilizing the media that they are looking into. So many young people on Twitter, so many on Facebook. Somebody will write a very long story on Facebook, and people are there, so many young people. But these same people are not going to pick their books to read. It's the content. What's the story we're telling them? So if you look into our educational sector, we're not even advancing at all. For instance, in Finland, I was reading somewhere that for young kids, just after the toddler age, they spend like 4 to 5 hours in school.
Yes.
And they teach them through playing.
Yes, only.
And they read. And Finland has like the highest, one of the highest.
Best education system in the world.
You see that? And they read. So what is it that we're not doing well? We're not catching up with the age. We are not at all. We're not catching up with the age. We're not looking for tools. We're not using those tools that these children, these young people are involved in. We're not bringing it over to our reading culture. Everything has to evolve. There was a time it was people were writing on it was hieroglyphics and symbols. Yes, on stones. Then it moved to papyri. and then now paper, and then now is the digital age. Tell me how many people you see holding books in buses and public places, but then you have people holding tablets and phones. Why aren't we putting those stories? Why aren't we educating them through those phones? I expect that an average school in Nigeria now, if all things are being equal, would educate children that way, because that's what is happening out there in the world. They would understand. I teach my children math through my phone, and they understand it better, you know, and it's easier for them to read. No. It's easier for them to read. My daughter started reading, she had not even started school when she started catching 3-letter words. And there were videos I put on my laptop. So they read it out for them and they repeat it. And you know, when we were growing up, you want to tell somebody, our own generation, you say, Mommy, see. My daughter will be like, oh, look. She doesn't. The other day, she told my husband, her father, she said, oh, your wheel is down. I'm like, this wheel? Say, it's tire. It's tire. So, as in, but she got this on TV. So that means they are learning. They are teaching them how to learn. You go to Disney, you go to Nickelodeon, they teach them. They teach them
now
stuff.
It's about content.
Yes, and the medium
that you
through which, yes, we share this content. Okay. Nigeria has not evolved. We are still back there. So how do you capture? Reading becomes boring. It's not the same. This generation is not the same with our generation. It becomes boring to them. You're bringing the old thing. It's like saying you want to bring the days of our forefathers to come and teach us, you know, under the tree where they're telling stories. Who wants to sit under the tree now? Nobody.
Exactly. Some of the writers and some of the critics who I have listened to would tell you that the writers that we have then, in as much as they might create a new book, but it's not a new content. You're telling us, trying to make us believe this is a story of 2017 to 2019. Then we are seeing the city of 1970 and 19... You understand? I love the fact that you mentioned in Stranger in Lagos, Dolphin Estate. I knew Dolphin Estate 20 years ago. I know Dolphin Estate now.
No, it's not the same
and
thing.
There is something you said. It used to be luxury environment then. I remember it.
I wasn't even in Lagos then, and we knew Dolphin Estates. We know.
Really?
We knew, yeah, Dolphin Estate is in Ikoyi. Is old Lagos money, you know. You know,
but
people
now,
were in the government.
Ordinary people can just live in and you tell somebody now, I live in Dolphin Estate. Okay, that's Oshodi phase 2. I love the fact that you paid attention to some of the things that are missing and could be the reasons why people do not want to read. Yeah. When I saw your book, number one, I was captured by the picture of that lady with the leg and the shoes. Then I was captured by the title, oh, it's my Lagos and Stranger in my Lagos. Then you began the story in a way that it didn't please me. I was pissed. Who is this writer? Who is painting Lagos? Then the whole research that you must have done, because you could only bring out the true meaning of psychology, spirituality, family values into one piece only by the power of research. How far did you research?
Oh, that's I love research. You see, and that's a good thing. As much as we say the modern age now, the internet age is killing reading. Those who want to read will read. I love research. I did a lot of research about the Yoruba people, asked questions, went online, and also about Lagos. Doesn't mean just because I'm in Lagos, I shouldn't read more about Lagos. Yes, I did a lot of research. Now, the beautiful thing is that I could research like 100 things and use only one thing out of that for my story. What it helps me, it does is that it balances my story. So I'm writing from a place of knowledge, even if I don't use that knowledge. So I love research. I love reading. I love learning new things. And it helps my writing a lot.
The level of your sincerity in that writing, especially Stranger in Lagos, it is killing.
Thank you.
People would think that it's about you. That was why the first time I asked you, are you Yoruba or...
No, I am not. I'm Igbo. I'm Taraba as well. So I don't even know, shamefully, I don't know how to speak Yoruba like that.
Yes.
Like I know just a few words, you understand? But I've lived with Yoruba people, so Yoruba people are the kind of people that you can't live with them without them rubbing off on you.
Yes.
And their culture is so rich.
You.
Yes, it's so. No matter how much you don't like Yoruba people, you end up loving them. You get, and you fall in love with their culture because they're very proud of their culture. Even when I write, I don't too delve into their culture per se because I don't want to go in too deep to what I don't know. So, but still, you feel the Yoruba-ness because I lived with them. It's part of, once you're in Lagos, you must be a Yoruba person of some sort. It is not my story. It's not my story. It's just that I write passionately. I don't know. I don't know what life inspires me. Real people inspire me. Eniola is not a real character. She's not somebody I know. Okay. But I've been following discussions about mental health amongst young people. And I read somewhere we don't have enough statistics of mental health in Nigeria. But they believe that up to 40% of Nigerians have mental issues, undiagnosed. That's from their research. You understand? So I was particular about that, of people coming online talking about their depression and all of that. I was moved. I went
not even in our culture in the first place to encourage listening to such people.
Yes, but these things are happening, and we cover it with spirituality. You go to the pastor to pray for you. I remember being quite depressed at a point in my life, and my mom said, "What are you depressed over? You don't have children, you don't have a job, and you're saying you're depressed." And I was a teenager, and I was going through a lot. I was at a point where I felt like I could remove this body of mine and throw it away and be another person. So I wanted to get, because as much as I came out of it, some people don't.
Yes.
Some people don't. It carries on. And because of the kind of culture we have, you have to put a smile over everything. You say you're depressed and they tell you that, oh, just get over it, go to church, it's demons disturbing you, you're possessed, stuff like that. Yes, we say these things, but nobody knows that these people need help. So I wanted to write about it. But then with young people now, people are getting more enlightened. We have mentally aware on Twitter. I know they're on Twitter, active on Twitter. They talk to you. If they see tweets of people, talking about suicide and, depression, they reach out to you. So I wanted to write a story about mental illness.
Thank you so much that you've written it. And I am a big fan, first and foremost. Big fan of Eniola, big fan of Sally, big fan of Stranger in Lagos, for the fact that it is Lagos, my city. Thank you very much for being on the program. Before you go, we do one thing in this program, that is grading. Okay. A, C, and F. A is excellent, C is fair, then F is terrible.
Oh.
So for the reading culture in Nigeria, which has collapsed almost totally, do you think the federal government of Nigeria is responsible partly? A, C, F. How do you grade them?
C.
C, fair.
Yeah.
Okay, with their educational policies and so on.
Yeah. I feel like the publishers also have a blame.
Okay, we are going to the publishers right away, since you've mentioned the publishers, and they are part of your family. So how would you rate publishers in Nigeria? We have great publishers, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
How do you grade them? A, C, F?
Okay, because we have to share the problem across. You understand? Okay. I'll say fair, but I wish they could do a lot better, because just like a lot of things in Nigeria, they are not evolving. They're not. And there's something we writers call porn poverty. They enjoy publishing, and I know if some people watch this, they're going to, because they're always angry when we say this. They enjoy publishing stories that sell outside the country because, that's their market. So such stories have stories of war, sadness, war, a gay couple coming out and leaving Africa to find freedom in Europe, stuff like that, that people there.
For the international consumption.
Yes. They don't understand contemporary Nigeria, those people. So publishers tend to, pander to what they feel, the outside audience.
Okay, therefore, you give them
Yes,
fair
so they are
to
missing
see.
a lot of stories.
All right, publishers,
Here.
you're listening to.
They're missing a
one
lot of
your-
stories. I have met amazing writers with amazing stories, but their complaints are the same. They're not picking my stories. They're not picking my stories. And we have a lot of publishers now that are doing vanity publishing. So they don't really pick writers. You pay them money. And this is really expensive because I've had my own experience.
Okay.
Stranger in Lagos was published outside Nigeria because they made things seamless and easy for me. I didn't publish like 1,000 copies. It's print on demand. I give them money, they print on demand as is needed, which is a very convenient way for the writer. Yes. And you don't have to be stuck on, I've not sold my books, the cartons. A lot of writers complain about that. I have cartons in my house. In the end, they start giving people books because they want the reach. Yes. But at the end of the day, it's not helping. It's not helping the reading culture. It's not helping writers. It's not helping readers. So I wish they could explore, catch up. Not so many of them have platforms.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's heartwarming.
Thank you.
I believe that the publishers are listening too. This is Four Walls, and here is Sally on the program. She has discussed extensively on reading culture in Nigeria. She also shared her book with us. So you go out and look for that book. How do we get that book?
Okay, so Stranger in Lagos would be, because I'm a poster child for every form of literature putting out there. It will be on Okada Books in December. The date is not out yet. But the hard copy, you can only get it with me. Reason being that the book costs some to produce, and it costs some to get. So you can reach out to me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
With her full name.
Yes, full name. You can just search for me on Google,
media.
And you will find me.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sally.
Thank you for having me.
It's Four Walls, and great to share this moment with you. It's a special edition. God bless you. Bye.